I'm going to look at this from this end. I'm going to bring this forth so you can see that. Let me amplify this particular picture and I'll bring it back here. This picture showed about 14 women. Okay. And I'm going to keep saying this. I have absolutely nothing against Koga, but when Michael X said, when you every country you go to, that the women are backward, the country is backward. Because we have to understand women are the first teacher of humanity. We're the first nurturer of mankind and society. We are the canal for which life continues. We are the cradle for which life breathes. When you look at a man that a woman gave life to, that took his first breath, the first water she drank came from part of a woman private part, says to you that you do not have a say so in the society or in the culture, but why do you vote? There, where we're going to talk about today. Let me get this going. Let's look at this. I want to say kudos to the people of the United States for going out. Okay, here you go. A record 14 U.S. state will be led by female governor. Okay, Namibia is already in the lead, just so everybody know. Namibia is already in the lead. Okay. Namibia is already in the lead. The president, the speaker, and I think the prime minister, they're all female in Namibia. Great job. Kudos. And America is coming along. This was supposed to be the greatest democracy of this modern era. Okay. Yeah. So, and women are still behind. Now, my baby, my 18-year-old, my college kid, called to be picked in fact got dropped off about 2 weeks ago to do early voting. She wanted to vote. She wanted to be a part of the process for the future, who determine her future. That since she has the ability, okay, since she has the ability to vote, to exercise her franchise to do so. A lot of people don't understand, especially in this United States, how many lives were put online for us to have the opportunity to vote. For instance, Black people were told that if they wanted freedom, they needed to fight. Hey, brother Joe, fight in a civil war, and they were going to get their freedom, and they were going to get 40 acre and a mule, and that they didn't happen. Okay, that did not happen. They fought like there was no tomorrow. Yes, fighting they did. I want people to understand that. Yes, they fought. But after the war was won, the places that were abandoned, okay, they went out there and got them. But when time came, it was confiscated from them. I was talking yesterday about Liberian people talking, just people will just talk up the air. Okay, I think it's my internet here is shaky. Where people say, oh, get everybody land. You also have to understand the heritage, the background history of the country that became Liberia, or the people, the incoming. My grandfather used to say, the love of liberty met us here. The love of liberty met some there. The love of liberty brought some there. So the mirror have two faces, okay? The face that says when the Constitution was written, okay, that says this is an oasis for Black people. Nowhere in the world that is called even Black nation that they say this is a country for Black people. There are other countries. The other day, the guy in Poland came out and knocked his chest. He said Poland will not take an immigrant. Poland will not do this. Poland has a higher living condition. Poland is difficult. But I can guarantee you, if you research where Poland get most of her resources from, it will be out of Africa. And I will do that research and we'll talk about that. Not today, though. Not today, though. Where does she get her iron from to build her high-rise building? Be out of Africa. Okay. Jim, Okay, like gold, diamond. I'm sure it's out of Africa, but that's a story for another day. Okay, why do you vote? Yesterday, I saw a post. Let me go back a little bit. Let me go back a little bit and talk to Liberian people. People of Liberia. People of Liberia. People of Liberia. I said this for the third time, like a Nigerian person to y'all. Let me explain to y'all. When you have a sitting government, okay, when you have a sitting government who works supposed to speak volume, but that government is running propaganda, that government has failed. That means they have nothing to show. Okay, let me explain to you all. If the Liberian government is serious about development, the first thing that a nation does if it's serious about development is human capital development. Human capital development. Education will be the first and foremost focus. Healthcare, infrastructure, that will be building schools, human capital development. We live in the age of technology, telecommunication system. Not just telecommunication system, not antiquated telecommunication system. I'm talking about advanced telecommunication system. Your budget will reflect the things that you prioritize that are important to you. Hey, Peter. Yeah, I finally got made it back on the platform. It is the internet in this house. I've changed it twice. I'm going to change it again. That will be your first and foremost. I see you people ordering buses. All of that is so people can give contracts and get kickbacks. Peter has a word for that. We just saw, although Tanzania is on the shaky side, Tanzania built a bridge over Lake Victoria, connecting countries for $300 million. I'm not sure how long it took. And they explain to you what impact it will make. Trade. Countries' connectivity. All of the nations that are developed, okay, or that have middle income, few things they have in common. The very first thing that they will do is education. I'm going to talk about Israel a little bit. Let's forget about the war in Israel. Don't forget about that. Why that is really important. Okay, we know what is happening in Israel, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to talk about how Israel got so powerful. How a country where people, okay, 1945, 1946 was a strip, how they became very powerful. Yeah, war has and other supports. But the first thing that they put in place is human capital development, education. Israel has a 98% literacy rate. %98 literacy rate. Even Turkey, that just got independent or became a country in the 1930s, has a 95% literacy rate. Now, you have to remember, Israel does not have any natural resources. It does not even have water. They conserve water. They use irrigation. Saudi Arabia does not have water. It has ocean and desert. They do desalination for them to get water to use They have to use technology to take the salt out of the water for them to be able to use it. But Liberia got water. Liberia has rain. The water plate in Liberia is very high. Liberia has land, vast land, arable land. When I hear Liberian people, especially informed Liberians, especially educated Liberians, who most of them have worked for government, they got money, okay? The everyday Liberian do not have money. Most Liberians have money. Most Liberians, 98% of Liberians who have money, they have a connection with government. Either they work in government, or their father work in government, or their mother work in government, and they have money that will pass on. That's supposed to be for all of us. I'm saying it, and I'm making no apologies. Okay? All those who managed during the war, that were doing other things, selling our logs, selling diamonds, they were on the hustle. While the government were doing their own hustle, they were doing their own hustle, and they established themselves. All those who left the country, who worked hard and coming back to invest. Then you got the other group who stole a lot of money during early time and left the country. They put in other country. And they thought when we came in, we were going to prosecute them. Okay? They did not. Then Bouaka came and still in the same way. He and his group. And they did not. Now they're brave enough not to go back with their money to invest it. Those who stole before, when we were not doing anything, was stealing his own, what did they do? They started, they bought land, they bought farms, they invested in businesses. So invested in Red Bank and Bud Bank and all banks. The story, my question to you today, why do you vote? What was the essence of you voting? Why do you vote? That's my question. So right now, I'm going to play this video. Okay, I'm going to play this video that I gathered from the American children in America, why they voted. Okay, I'm going to play this. Okay, I'm going to play this. I'm going to move this. I'm going to stop sharing. These are women. These women will be leading American cities. When you have Koga in Nima County saying women are not supposed to lead. When our sisters, like our superintendent came out to say, this is not a female issue. Okay? But that's a story for another day, because the moment I start, all the people that she can give a low dollar to, they will come and can't curse. They will come and start yelling. To everybody will be posting her. Okay? Government is for service. Our people have been left behind so long that to travel out of Liberia have become a credit to owe your life and your time to. Okay? So why did you vote? Let me tell you why my children voted. Okay? Why did you vote? So I'm going to come here. This is Elizabeth Warren. Let's hear the data and statistics.
According to NBC exit polls in New Jersey, 32% of voters said the economy is the most important issue. 7% said immigration. 16% said healthcare. 35% taxes. Only 3% said crime. That's the sort of top line here. What is your reaction to what happened last night?
We have no copyright to this video.
Woohoo! But it's you've got this right. There's a big pushback against Donald Trump. But look at the other half, and that is the message that the Democrats ran on. What Zoran ran on, what Abigail ran on, what Mikey ran on was affordability, affordability, affordability. They were out there talking about what's happening to American families right now in Donald Trump's economy, how people are smashed against the wall, and they committed that they are in the fight to turn that around, to be part of a state government, to be part of a city that says we're not here just to make government work for a handful of billionaires. We're here to make government work for working people. And a lot of people heard.
According to NBC exit polls in New Jersey, 32% of voters said the economy is the most important issue. 7% said immigration.
Did you guys hear that? Why the people voted? They didn't vote because they just like the person. They didn't vote because Mandani or what do you call it? The Burqa lady was nice, or all the people that they voted were nice people. They voted based on the issue. Okay, what is the issue in America right now? Okay, I know Liberian people don't know anything that they call SNAP. It is people who mostly they work, but their job cannot afford to give them the kind of life, or at least bring them to a minimum wage. So if they have family, it fell in the gap. I know in Liberia, the government just collect, give back nothing. They just collect. We elect them to enslave us. We elect them to steal from us. We elect them to turn our children into street walkers. We elect them to turn our husbands into beggar, or to Susanna to cross the street. We elect them, okay, to lord over us. So we don't ask questions. Now, I started the conversation with, if a certain government, okay, all they're doing is propaganda. Some of us not ready yet for the propaganda, so they can go ahead and run their propaganda. If a certain government, all they do is run propaganda, like they feel they all day long, they're on the air. All day, they're on the air. Okay? Wait, President, we are near so and so. Why is that a problem? I didn't want to talk about that. Why is that a problem? Okay? Kudos to we are. He can leave the country. But when Papa Bouaka was sick, we would not even have known had it not been for we are after the election. He would not have been here with you for you to be enjoying today. So your gift to Caesar, what is due Caesar? Why even people demise becomes a problem, or there's something to rejoice and we carry on as a propaganda. What has happened to our humanity as Liberians? I know somebody will come on the post and say, oh, no. I never said that. It was the Europeans who were using it to invoke emotions. Or the Papa will not do the heavy lifting. The Papa not eat well. The Papa will not do this. The Papa will not stay this way. The Papa will not stay there. So that somebody just come second and let the Papa just be there. No. Why did you vote? We just listened to why the American children or the American people voted. We just listened to them. Why they voted. Now, let's listen again. What was different? What was different? Again, I have no copyright to this video. I'm going to play them. All right? Now, why did they vote? That's what we want to talk about. Why do you vote? Here we go.
Last year, trying to answer, why is it that all these young people have swung to the right? And then that didn't happen last night. Well, listen, I think you're right. I don't think Democrats are celebrating today without younger people. For example, in New York City today, if the election were held among only people of my generation and older, Andrew Cuomo is mayor today. It is specifically young people in this city and younger people in Virginia and New Jersey that drove those margins. Specifically, break down younger people. We're talking about women being the foundation, I think, of the Democratic Party. Younger women under 30, they voted for the Democratic candidates by 60-point margins.
Now, let me explain to y'all here, Liberian people. Let me explain to you here, and I always say this to the Liberian. I say, Liberia, when you are ready, when the women of Liberia are ready and quite pretending for change in Liberia, change will happen. The day the women of Liberia put up their hand and say, we are tired, change will happen. Let's go back to the war. First, the war. We had whatever the story that happened at Dorking to be, we saw that. But it took one woman, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, to get Taylor and get the rest of them, even the Kuwampa. All right? Why I don't agree? I'm just saying. It took a woman. When the war was raging, after they're going to many ups and downs, they're going to Yamoussoukro Convention, this other occurred, that other occurred, that occurred. when the Liberian women got ready and said, we pray the devil to hell, this is not happening. Why it was happening in Ghana, in America, the Liberian women in this America were in New York, the daughters and the mothers of Liberia in the streets. They got ready. It is the thing. I heard this on the radio before the election of Donald Trump. There was this pastor who said, when the women of America, especially the Black women, when they are ready for shift, even with the woke society to change it, when they decide that they will change it, the Black women in this country kept the Black race alive because the Black men were in danger. They will use them to break their spirit. The women never gave in. Black women knew they would feed a white child on their breast, and that child would grow up and would enslave them. They knew that, but they still nurture. So when Black women, when Liberian women are ready for change, they will stand up. When they start looking away, you know, a few months ago, that was in July, late July, when the Liberian women got ready, they said they were doing a say no to drugs. We know how that went. What is the result? I just saw a big old truck coming from Guinea through Sierra Leone. And somebody is playing that and say they should send it back. You don't need to open that truck. They need to take that truck back. And they tap the truck all the way up there. Then they put beads on it. Okay? And that beads, nothing is covered in it. Beads, the whole beehive is on the truck. Send it back to where it came from. You don't have to come in the country. That's why immigration, that's hazard. That's a hazard. You're bringing in something that poisonous. You got people who are allergic to bee sting, like it can kill them. They got epinephrine issues that you don't understand. Okay, you can't bring those kind of insect in another country on an open tap, and you say, and then they're bringing it in. You say, oh, they're making our job hard. Send it back. Send it back across the border. Don't let it come in. Now, I'm going to come back here. We're talking about this, though. Young people. And I got my young son. I got Theophilus here. These young people in America took the streets, okay, without asking for anything. 100,000 of them volunteer. 100,000+ of them volunteer. Mandani came from 1%, but they were willing to work. They were willing to roll up their sleeves. They were willing to knock a door. He alone, they reached all 1 million people in New York. It took the team. It took those who believe. It took those who think this is not the America they wanted to live in. It took those who believe. The women, especially 98% of Black women voted that this is not what they wanted for their sons, their daughters, their country. This is not what they wanted for their neighbors. They didn't want police. They didn't want people with their face tag, can't identify themselves in the neighborhood and disturbing, putting their children out in the middle of the night. They didn't want that. They didn't want that people, few 10 people controlling the whole economy while we work for them, and they make billions for they and their children. So they stood up. Why did you both? Please, if you want to come out, I can send you the link. Okay? Why did you vote? Liberian. Yesterday, y'all were on Facebook asking. Okay? I'm going to play this, and then I will go to the next one. So let's go ahead and play this. Okay? Yesterday, some of you were on Facebook asking
79, 8 out of 10 women voted blue. And as you talked about, those younger men swung back. So if women are the foundation, young men are the hinge. And we know that hinges swing back and forth. And when there's an economic message that is in touch with their day-to-day reality, we can see what happens.
But that's the thing. Those candidates you're talking about in New Jersey and Virginia happened to be women. They were running on economic issues. So this argument that it's about Democrat, and I feel like you have been on television for the last year trying to answer, why is it that all these young people have swung to the right?
Okay. So there were women. Did you hear that? There were women. And they were running on economic issue. The pocketbook issue. How to feed their family. How to pay their bills. In the summer, I told my daughter had worked and lived on her own, living Asia, Southwest Asia, where is the South Korea for years. After grad school, she went there, she volunteered, she worked, she taught English and moved back. I call her and say, Ma, if you're out there and things not working out because things are so expensive, your room's still here. Okay? Why did you vote? Why do you stay in line and vote? So that's my question to the Liberian people. Yesterday, you were on Facebook talking who the best president. What is the criteria for somebody being a best president? What are the pressing issues that Liberia need? What does Liberia need that you always stop getting in people inboxes? There's no dignity in begging. Absolutely no dignity. It makes you feel small. It makes you feel common. It makes you hopeless. You know, when a woman or a man work, even I just want to know he can take care of his family. He feels like he's a man. You know, if there were a job in Liberia, you think these old men, the moment you get in a position, they start chasing people, little girls. You think a man who knows himself, who have a child, who is protecting his child, who is providing for a child, you will allow another man to walk in his house for better rights, to abuse his child. I see Brian McGill walking around, took advantage of somebody 14-year-old child. The 14-year-old said, don't even look the 14-year-old. She looked underdeveloped. She looked like a 9, 11-year-old child. With somebody that worked with him and walking around. And Gregory Coleman is making excuses for him. Okay? Why did you vote? Or why do you vote? There must be a reason. When I was in Nima during the election, people came to talk to us. The people thought they were smart. Even in Banga, in Bonkante, in Mangibi. You don't make a deal with the devil, you can't win. I'm here for an hour. Okay? You can win, but you can prepare yourself to join me on Thursday. You cannot win because the devil has already projected what he's going to do. Because when they were taking people voting card, people used to record them. So what they did was, they only wrote down the voting card, they let you carry your voting card. Majority of them, before they got to the voting pool, they had already voted. The system had already registered that they have voted because they have gone in the back end and put in the voting registration number. They were selling the voting card for $5,000, Liberian dollar. At the time, it was 200 to 1. So you're telling me how much $5,000 is? Okay. You're right. How much 5,000 Liberian dollar is? 200 to 1 at the time. Okay. So $25 US. That's what they were selling it for. $25 US. And for the next years, okay, I see some people calling me and say, oh, I supported the people and they're not looking at me. I will not do this. I will go. You go to the place. Go to somewhere else. What make you think that other person, by the time they finish with you, they will pay attention to you? However, you vote for all of us, not just for you. However, you make decisions for all of us, for the nation, that will trickle down to all of us, that we build a big tent. However, you do that, why do you vote? You vote and forget about you don't forget about your children, because you're thinking when you get there, you and your children will be fine. And the rest of the nation will be left on their own. And that's why you vote the way you vote. Why do you vote? What qualifies or what constitutes a good president for you, Liberians? What constitutes a good president for you? Oh, the person tall, the person can dance, the person can sing, the person can come and sit down and eat GB with you, the person can sit down and play Ludo with you. That's not what changed your life. That's an event. What changed a nation is policy. What changed a nation is truism. What changed a nation is education. Education on quality of life are directly correlated. The higher the education of the nation, the more productive the nation is, because you have more people that can think critically. In Israel have no natural resources, but guess what? Israel is in charge of the De Beers. They cut and polish diamond. They build weaponry. They are technologically more advanced than most nations in the world. They have better infrastructure. They do irrigation. They diversify the economy. They have market economy, mixed linear market, all the way to the end, almost to the 100%. They're parliamentary kind of government with some streets of autocracy, I would say. So we can see Netanyahu. Liberia, on the other hand, they say it's a republic, but the government controls everything. So Liberia is supposed to be a market economy based on the structure of government, but market is leading what? Command. Because the government decides everything. In fact, one man, the president and his group, joined by the legislature. The justice system is compromised because it's not independent. The judicial system is inconsistent. It does not work. You can't attract legitimate, reputable investors or businesses to come in your country. Liberia got investors. Liberian investors are Liberian. For instance, the oil block that they're selling, they say certain percentage should be allocated for Liberians. How many Liberians, if they didn't work for government before, or they leave the country, or they don't have their hand into stuff, how many Liberians can afford to invest in a big project like that? How many? Y'all talk. How many Liberians can afford to do that? They say you guys were Liberian were sitting on the sideline, spectator. Oh no, we are. Liberia not even spectating in this particular government. Our ID system was given to Middle Easterners. Our sanitation is being juggled. It's being given to a group that is already known for being corrupt out of Ghana. Even Ghanaians themselves throw them out. Now our oil block is being given to another guy who had cheated us before. What did you guys expect? These people are over 66 contracts that were bogus and left Liberia hanging during the Reconstruction era. What did you expect? Monkey will not change his black hand. This is what we'll vote for. You voted for tribe. You voted for age. You voted for and something that was familiar with you. That's what you voted for. You didn't vote for meritocracy. You didn't vote for all of us. You didn't vote that the children will have a future. You didn't vote for somebody who had a plan that say, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. This is where we're going to do it. These are the timeline. These are the line I will say for deliverables. These are the benchmarks. Hold me to that. No, you did not. Why did you vote? When you vote, who do you vote for? Do you vote for the nation? Do you vote for the future? Do you vote for the children? Or do you vote for right now? For connection? For a job? Or do you vote for Liberia? Why do you vote? I got 2 more videos to play, and then we will go ahead and do that. Okay? Now, I need you to listen here. I need you to listen. Again, I have no copyright to this video that I'm playing. All right, so here we go. Listen up.
There's a lot of talk about what last night means for 2026, 2028, and even beyond. There's also plenty of conversation about who is the quote unquote leader of the Democratic Party. But for now, let's just look at last night on its own merit. One election night that is a snapshot of how Americans in those specific states and cities are feeling at this moment in time. Democrats won the big races across the board with bigger margins than expected in Virginia, New Jersey, and New York City. One thing those winning candidates had in common, they all focused their campaigns on affordability and the cost of living. The Democrats also picked up key wins in much smaller races in swing states like Pennsylvania and Georgia. Remember, those are states that went for Donald Trump 1 year ago. So 2 themes seem clear for this one snapshot. Voters turning to Democrats on the economy and swing states swinging back to the left. And by the way, this happened during what is officially now the longest government shutdown in our nation's history. All right, let's bring in our nightcap. Daniel Coe is here, former White House cabinet secretary during the Biden administration. He is running for Massachusetts' 6th congressional district. No, you were not a cabinet secretary. You were the chief of staff to a cabinet secretary.
Deputy cabinet secretary.
There we go. Mark Joseph Stern, senior writer covering courts and law and Slate. John Della Volpe, director of polling at the Harvard Kennedy School Institute of Politics. He's also an MSNBC political contributor. And David Rode, MSNBC national security reporter. His book, Where Tyranny Begins, is out now on paperback. Daniel, you are the one running for office as a Democrat. So what are you feeling about last night? What lessons are you taking away?
I'm feeling we're back, baby. That's the bottom line. Look, I think for an entire Trump administration that has been mocking the term diversity and inclusion and equity for the last couple of years, I think we're seeing a diverse view of what the Democratic movement can be. We see one version in New York with Zohran Mamdani. We see a different version with Spamberger. We see a different version with Cheryl. But you know what? The message is real, that people are fed up with this president trampling the Constitution, affronting all of our values. And I think what people are seeing is a repudiation of that all across and in a different ideologies. And that's a good thing. Look, all Democrats don't need to have the same opinions. But I think that we need to stand united and that we're going to fight back for the country that we believe in and that we are going to focus on those issues of affordability. And if Democrats can convince people that we are the party that can help bring down your costs and bring rationality, we win every time.
John, there's a lot of talk about what last night means for 2020.
So I'm going to stop here. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? All right. Hopefully you guys heard me. Okay. Hopefully that played. Okay. Now, people voted on issue. And you know why most of us don't vote on issue? Because we are desperate. And the government will continue to keep us desperate until we revolt. Billionaires, I didn't say millionaires, billionaires put out money for the people, especially the young people and women, was not going to compromise their safety, the safety of their children or of their future, a full ability, being able to just feed themselves and food, they were not going to sacrifice that. They were not going to eat today and die tomorrow. They were not going to eat today, go to shopping today, and tomorrow they start begging. So they sacrificed that today. They stood in line. The highest ever turnout election. They did not vote for what do you call it, for the old people or people who are familiar. Okay, Como. My husband went to school with Como's younger brother, Chris, the one that you can see. He grew up in New York. During the days of Donald Trump, when Donald Trump did Central Park 5, my husband was in New York in college. And he can tell you the whole story. Como followed them. Those were then the people of the people and the grandfather. Their grandfather clock in New York. Everything that he did as the governor. When was he a Republican? This man was a Democrat. Then got in trouble, became too big, untouchable. So it's like when you go to Republican, then you're untouchable. All of a sudden, you're a Republican. If we were left with the old people, the white men voted for him over 50-some more %. And the women said, no, not this time. And not so fast. Not for our children. We're not going to do that. Why do you vote, Liberians? You vote, eat the same day, the next day you're begging. The children can't even get. The one thing that is an equalizer is education. When children are given a clean slate, that everyone is given an opportunity to maximize their God-given talent. It gave each child a fighting chance. And most of you parents will refuse to. I watch Liberian children. Those whose parents are doing well. Those who are in private school, who got tutor. The school is not merely a building. It is the surrounding. It is the amenities. It is the teacher. It is the human connection. It is the nurturing. It is the shaping. It is the empowering. It is the inspiring. That's what education is. It's not just 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. It's where the children walk in, where they sit. That they are not worried about if they go home, they got to go sell cold water and come in the net before the man can find a couple rest. A nation like Liberia with less population and the kind of natural resources, Liberian children should not be in the street, especially the disabled begging. Now, let me send this message out because I'm about to get off. Let me speak to y'all, those of you who support Mr. Cummings. I've known Mr. Cummings for a while. He's not a fussy person. He ain't got no crew or gear inside of him. Or crying inside of him. Maybe he does. I'm talking about personality-wise. You know, when I'm talking, people can say, yeah, crew inside of him, maybe they feisty. Maybe when it comes to business, he is. He's a hard worker. He's a smart man. He's an ethical person. He's a survivor. He knows how to navigate his way. If it's based on merit and hard work. But let me say to you, who coming around? The reason some of us came around Mr. Cummings is we wanted his goodness, his hard work. I remember when I was vice president for the community and Mr. Cummings was the head of our advisory board. He will be on his flight en route to business meeting, so not to Mexico, so not to South Africa. And he will be in a meeting with us on the plane, giving us instruction, what we could do, who we can reach out to, how we can make our community better. Then we saw him pack up his stuff, took a flight with people to Liberia during the Ebola. In fact, in 2008, during the economic symposium, where they did at the complex, where Ellen brought her grandchild to come and be one of the whatever, and Mr. Cummings' friends came in to help with Liberia, to open place for people to come and see they could invest. So when we saw the work he did in our community during the Ebola and after, someone would also say, this is a man who cares for Liberia. This is a man who cares for the community. Mr. Cummings didn't walk in and say, hello, I'm the CEO of Coca-Cola. In fact, he will come, he will pay her role when he leaves. People will come and say, but they say the CEO of Coca-Cola was here. Say, yeah, here he worked for just here. They just left. Wear his little jacket, jeans, or shirt, or quite a Republican style. His little loafers come and sit down until he has something to say. That was Mr. Cummings. Never missed a call. We had a call with Mr. Cummings. It did not matter where he was. He would look at his calendar and say, can we do it so and so time? And he would avail himself. And we would dream from the wealth of his knowledge. The AJA, the Liberian Association of Liberian Journalists in America, Mr. Cummings spoke in that place when Eugene Nangwe almost wanted to join him to fight or beat him up or cuss him up. Yola, he had gone and donated. In my community, he the highest donor to date. Famusa, almost all of the Liberian community here, or the oldest Liberian tribal organization you have been to. The Women Empowerment Center, Mr. Cummings made the first donation. I was there when he wrote the check. Jim Harris was leading that Nima County Women Empowerment. We don't talk about that. And all the other scholarship that he gives. But charity is not the reason for which somebody should be president. But he has the knowledge, the ability, proven record. If we want change. And those of us who come here around, the goodness of Mr. Cummings should rub on us for one to do the right thing. But that's not what it seems like. Most of us are coming around because we think this is our opportunity to get rich, like other people have, because it's the elephant meat. We are not even honest among ourselves. Some of us went to Liberia during the election. We saw that. Some of us were back and forth. I went to Liberia 4 times in 2023. 2022, the same amount of time. The places that I travel. Anyway, I live in America longer than I live in Liberia. I'm in and out. And I was young. I have visited all of the borders that there is in Liberia. Sierra Leone border, Guinea border, Ivorian border. I've been to Ivory Coast, to Guinea. In the last 6 years. Why do you vote? That would be my question to you. What constitutes a good president? Is it because he's tall and handsome, he's dark and handsome, he's light-skinned, he's short and plump? Or he can speak good English or can pronounce big words? How does that inspire you? How do we change our society, women of Liberia? And I'm going to play my last video. Okay, I'm going to play my last video. And then I'm going to call her a day. I want you to listen to this woman. And I will have the link on here. I want you to listen to the whole link. Okay? Most of you listen to this girl most of the time. So I'm going to go ahead and do this.
For hypocrisy, and the other side is rewarded for audacity. And honestly, I don't feel bad for either side. I don't have favorites, but really because this is what I keep seeing over and over, right? It's people treating politicians like they're their kids or their pastors or their idols, I guess. You can't love someone into accountability. You have to demand it. And if your love for a politician blinds you to the harm that they're doing, you're not a supporter, you're a disciple. So when people are up here crying about regret or betrayal, I don't feel bad. You knew what you were signing up for. You just didn't care until it affected you. So yeah, that person had it right. You can appreciate someone's work. You can even love what they represent. But the second they get power, your love has to turn into accountability. Because if we don't hold people to their promises, we end up with cults, not movements. And the reason Democrats get held to a higher standard is because people still expect better from them. That's not a weakness. That's a sign that some of us still believe that morality has a place in politics. But belief isn't enough, right? Because loving someone's message means nothing if you don't call them out when they start to become the very thing they said they'd fight. So yeah, Tuesday was their last day to love him. For hypocrisy. And the other side is rewarded.
Now, that morality is still a part of politics. Let me send this message again. Many of you are coming around Mr. Cummings, just a lot of people did during the last election, wrap themselves around them, okay? Build a wall, and let me say this, the king is only as good as the surrounding of the king, all right? You saw 100,000 young people, old people, Jewish people, Muslim, Christian, Jews, or people who believe in Judaism, okay? Because Jews are not Christian. They practice Judaism. Jesus Christ was not a Christian. Christianity started with Jesus Christ. All right? Pull themselves up. Knock at doors. They were not running around with Mandani. Also wrong. They weren't. They weren't asking for $10,000 to go talk to people, then they rent truck and pour everybody in it and move it and make it seem like they actually did the work. He came from 1% when nobody believed. 1%. And had the most vote ever turnout in New York history. Even in California, up to 7, 8 o'clock, people were wrapped around and they didn't mind being there because they were there for a purpose. Why do you vote, Liberian? What constitutes a good president to you? You're running back and forth with UP and CDC. Who in the hospital? Who now fly to America? People in UP should not be talking. Pape Boaka, every 6 weeks, he goes to the hospital using your money. Most of you, your people then need dialysis and not in the country. Y'all say dialysis were coming. Y'all say, what do you call it? What the other one? DNA machine were coming. It been coming saying Ellen Johnson Salita. It been coming saying we are time. It been coming, we're going to 3 years on Pape Boaka. But you're still on it. When a certain government that's supposed to be impacting change, that's supposed to be directing the nation, that's supposed to be setting social norms, social tune, or social direction, or societal direction, when they resort to propaganda and you're chasing them with it, that's a failure in the works. Failure in progress. And I hear some of y'all say, oh, and what do you call it? UP propaganda machine is leading. Some of us have not added our voice there. The last time when we spoke 1 or 2 times, Jeremiah Pierre went off the hinge. Normally Bad Boy went off the hinge. Everybody was talking from their backside. But I'm going to end this with this. Most of you, just that we did in the last election, 2017, the people said they didn't know Mr. Cummings. He was just coming. We were there before some of y'all came. I remember when I showed up in Liberia, Sister Risa looked at me and says, "They're sending you king." And I said, "I promise I will come." We got 7%. That one way was leading the charge. Leon, Mona, we all came from America. That's the first time I met Leon. We were out. In fact, the night of the election, we were looking for lantern to carry to pool. Mona, Leon, we were on the other side. Me and my sister-in-law, she was not supporting me, but she was driving me around or making sure I was safe to carry stuff, to carry it. We got 7%. I didn't see, except for the night before, where people were complaining. We did the same thing. Now we're coming. If you are not faithful in the smallest thing, I don't trust you to work with you on the big things. Most people are coming on board. They're not coming for change. They're coming to sabotage, or they're coming to say, "Oh, if Mr. Cummings get there, it will be now my time." We saw that. We saw this 2019. When the Ure then who didn't have face to talk. When Bwaka then were hiding. When Alexander Cummings were in the street with the Darius DeLong, with the Taylor Ure, we were out here advocating, fighting everywhere we could. Some of us were in Washington, we were in New York, we were in the streets all over the place. When they gain ground, gain their face, after we have built, they key in without us looking. Hey, Prince. Oh, Lord, I have somebody will call you. What? Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm about to get up, though. Okay. Let me call him back. So, okay, I was just calling you. If in the smallest thing you are dishonest, and then like when people say you all just move on, you're not moving anywhere. Prince?
Yeah, Madam President, how you doing?
I'm good. You wanted to say something before I leave?
Yeah. Like you suggested. However, I know you're about to leave, so thank you for the privilege to even accept my call, take my call.
Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Madam President, and that's it. That's how the discussion should be trended. First of all, let me express my greetings to the Liberian people or those who are listening.
Amen.
Who are following you and who are listening.
Mm-hmm.
That you bring this fire to the discussion. That consistency and consistency is overwhelming for me. I'm fascinated and I'm impressed, and I want to thank you so much for keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, you're right about trying to invoke the conscience of our people and bring to their attention what is happening, the manifestation of what is happening in our country, in this country here. Because we live today in a global village, we interact and intertwine with each other. And what is happening across the pond on the other side, it's not a miracle. It's not anything impossible. And it's practical. It's something that can happen anywhere if you put it into effect. I mean, we're seeing the people resisting. The people came out. The people said that we need to have a change, genuine change. Mm-hmm. We need to have we need to send them a firm message. The people came and gathered and sat around somebody who they feel that can make the decision that necessary to be able to break the ripple of what's happening in the country as we see it today.
Indeed.
And thank you so much. And I hope our Liberian listening my president, the honesty, the sad thing is that the hypocrisy is too. I don't know. I'm trying to be serious about how to express it, but the hypocrisy among us is too.
Look, Mr. President, let me say to you, we got to speak up, because you know why? Small shame is better than big shame, because we have these people. You know how we are. We sit in chat room, we do what we need to do, then we say, let's just move on. We come out and show good face. But the very people will embarrass us tomorrow because they're dishonest. That's how we got. Why do you think the war took us 14 years? They say they came for Doe. And they killed Doe in 1990, September? Yeah. Okay. Greed. Go ahead. Let me not cut you up. Sorry.
And the emphasis I was trying to put on here is not that the frustration. For me, if I'm talking to a typical person in Liberia, when I say typical person, not in a condescending way, but in a way that they are what they are predisposed to, rather than have no opportunity, other than taking it's been strategically put into the position of desperation where they are in, so they can only make decisions that will not be residual, will not give them any residual benefit, but rather
instant gratification. Yeah.
So they put in that position. So when I say typical person, it's the people who are disadvantaged.
Yep.
And I have the patience and the time to stand and argue and talk to these people and appeal to the good angel of the nature to make sure to fully understand, and they can grasp the understanding and have an audacity to hope for something better. I have the patience for that. But it becomes frustrating when you're dealing with the very same people who do you think shares the thing ideology you shares. When you're talking to these very same people, and then these people will come at you and they will try to break you and destroy you simply because they are envy of you or what you have to say. If I'm putting for some solution for Liberia today, even if I'm a crazy person, right? If that solution, if what I'm putting forth is a solution, what does it have to do with how crazy I look, or how stupid I am, or how impossible it seems? Well, what does it have to do with that? You have a complex mathematical problem that you're struggling with. You can't find a solution. I'll walk up to you and articulate the solution to you. Then you look at me and say, people, I'm talking about people amongst us that we think that have the common sense.
Right.
That you think that they will speak the way you speak so you can speak to the conscience of our people, so our people can believe to hope again, to have that hope that there are still good people out there.
Right.
And you're reference to one of who I have honorable respect for, and I admire, and I know that notwithstanding the circumstances that he is in a position and he can do for Liberia what many of our politicians today would never ever do for Liberia.
Correct.
Alexander Cummings.
Correct.
I have profound respect for him.
I do too.
Instead of our people looking at these people and say, these are the people you should build your hope and you build your belief and your faith on, that you know that they will be able to transform your life for the better. They will be able to change things for you. Instead of doing that, we're bickering among ourselves and picking among ourselves, arguing among ourselves.
Yeah.
Everybody think they know God them too much. I'm sorry, Madam President, for the expression.
That's okay. Small. Yes. Yeah.
I'm saying I run. Well, let me not make this about me, but I'm saying I run it for the president of Liberia. The people question me, oh, you running for president of Liberia? Look at who you are. You look at that stupid man. Okay,
Prince.
Let's talk about the solution of Liberia. I'm talking for solution for Liberia now. Even if I can't do that because life is uncertain. They reach out, run my mouth and talk about the solution of Liberia because today, tomorrow, all the ideas I have about changing Liberia. What if something happened to me? I run into something and God says, this is your time for you to come home. And I'm taking home. If I don't articulate those things so people can hear it, people can grasp it, and people can take it, you can question it, you can test it, you can validate it. Okay, you tell me, say, okay, this is water here. This is how we can dig the water. This is how we can do it. This is the best way to do it. Even if I'm a plumber or maybe a DJ watcher, if you take my idea and go and dig that way, you get water from inside, no matter what you do.
Yeah, but please don't worry about it. When Mandani
stop talking about Liberia right now, we're talking about Cummings.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
people look at me and tell, coming in big factory in Liberia, so that one Liberia pushing vote for him. Coming in, getting Liberia money to Liberia pushing for people. You think that have common sense or think that way?
Oh yeah.
You know what? You know what? The reason why people, most of our people, they can talk like that. The reason they can talk like that, the reason they can freely say those things, those nonsensical things, those things that have no bearing, those things that will, if you say among intellectual people, they'll look at you and they'll just look at you, they're funny, there's something wrong with you. The reason they can say it because they know that who they are speaking to.
Right.
They are speaking to the disadvantaged.
Yep.
They are speaking to the disenfranchised.
Yep.
They are speaking to our people on a perpetual.
And that's the psychology. Yep.
Of politicians who are greedy politicians who is only about themselves. Who are wanting to take power, not to empower the people, but to spread power to empower themselves. That's how they can make those kind of statements and sound so good. Then when you talk to people who you're taking off your precious time that you could spend with your sweetheart. That lucky man to have such a beautiful woman. I think I gotta consider visiting him next year when I go to Liberia. Just in that way, put in the village. You take your time and you sit down here. Every time I listen to you, my heart bleeds, and I if I, you know what it does, it even motivates me to even believe, to even have this for the whole. Because I mean, your consistency is incredible, fascinating.
Thank you.
And I think if we all genuinely, truly love Liberia, if we all do the same thing, it will make a difference in Liberia.
Amen.
People who God put in certain position. Okay, look at the young man, Stanton Waterspoon, giving everything that happened, giving the abuse of opportunity he had in America, the thing, the disadvantage, the way he abused the opportunity of America, and he did things in America that defied the notion of what America, giving the privilege for. He still had the opportunity to have the time to spend. He got the resources, the money. Instead of him thinking, you think he was thinking about it better, giving the desperate people in Liberia, putting them to the right direction. You think you would think about it? No, you know why you don't think about it? Because all me and myself.
So Prince, hold your thought right there before I let you go. You know, when my son Martin Colley said he was kidnapped during his graduation day, the rest of the story I'm going to keep it right there. When they have planned, he and Henry Costa and Darius Dillon, that they will try by all means to bring Bouaka in. They know that he's not going to do much. Then they will come back now to do the real rescuing. So you see all of this charity, okay? And I see people are buying into it, but I'm watching them. They can come and do whatever they want to do. That's fine, okay? But they are not the solution, okay? Begging people or collecting money undercover to run a charity organization is not leadership. You're merely helping people. We're saying empower people. Okay, congratulations. I'm glad he's doing what he's doing, but he's doing what he's doing because people, I remember the day we hosted you, it was me, it was the two fatty guys, and it was what do you call it, Lofa Julius, when we first brought him to the platform. That time we had Zoom. Okay, and all of this. People are laughing, they're not laughing at you, they're laughing at themselves because they don't dream dreams. When McDonald started this with this joining, they were laughing at him. They were saying he's young, he's an MC, he's the city council member, oh, he's Indian, okay, he's Muslim, we're not going anywhere. But who are they? Today he's the mayor of New York, the most powerful city in America, with the most billionaires in America. I believe in the impossibility of possibility and possibility of the impossibility. I do. But finish your thought, and I'm going to go get ready for bed. Yes.
Thank you very much. And I won't hold you any longer and let the old man go and sit down beside his beautiful girl. He said tonight, say a little bit of prayer and then reflect on it yesterday or today. Or so.
Amen.
Well, listen, my present yesterday here. I am one person. I thank God for the opportunity He given me, even the privilege to come over here and see this tremendous, great experiment taking place, unfolding. I understand that God truly is alive, and God is a God, is an incredible God.
Amen.
He gives everybody the brain, and he also gave everybody the eyes to see and the mind to understand that anything you are seeing, don't you see, if you try and put it into practice, if you're sincere about it, it will come to fruition. I care less about what people think. If I'm talking about me running today, I'm not talking about me as an individual. I'm talking about me as a generation that should step up to the plate and redeem the country. If I'm talking about me, if I even talk about running, I'm not there running on I've been in power for 45 years, or I'm a politician. No, I'm giving idea. I'm putting for some solution. I'm thinking. I'm stretching our mind to think deeper and bigger than I would think. So our politician can hear it. You know what I pick up my idea to carry it around with it. It comes listen to me with the way it fits. If I listen to come here and he says something, incredible ideas, I would take it and run with it. And I might explain it to the people on the sidewalk, on the street in Newtown, in West Point, in ways that they can understand, so that they can grasp the notion and understanding that it takes good leadership to create a transition that can put you into transform your life. That's what leadership is about. So thank you, Madam President, for what you do. And I to continue to do these things. I promise you, and I will keep my promise. If you let the fire of hope and belief,
Amen,
and the fire of truth, the fire of inspiration, I will come and be drawn near to it, to gather myself beside it warm, and I will put my own little pieces of shrub or grass or stick into it too, so we can keep this flame ablaze, so we can continue to speak to the good angel of the nature of our people, and they will listen. And you haven't seen it yet, but by God's grace and by the divine providence of God, this time around is going to be different.
Amen. Amen.
We're going to hold together. We're going to hold the line. We're going to hold it line. We're going to push each other.
We will hold the line.
We cannot be successful today.
Amen.
And tomorrow, God does not give me put me in the position that my desire, because I want to distinguish my desire from God's providence. I'm not stupid. I'm wise enough to know that.
Right.
Even you think David was not offended with Goliath because God all the time. David was offended, but David was focused on something else, money and sheep, because the time was not right.
Correct.
When that time became right, David stepped up. So if God says it's not my time, I'm here. If Cummings present himself, and we will make the conviction of people know I'm not prepared, I'm not there yet, but there's the next man you can count on. Because this man, I have the same ideology. I trust this man because it's a characteristic. I trust this man because it's past history. I trust this man because of what he has done. He has a character. And let me say in this public manner that all my criticism against Cummings for the recent decisions that he had made with regards to the selecting or gathering of the people of Liberia to come together so they can express their fundamental civil duty and responsibility, where they can go through a democratic process and select their own leaders and choose the people that want to lead them. I respect that, and I think, Mr. Cummings, you are doing the right thing, because I was of the impression and the notion that you have to have the perfect people to work with you. But then one of my person that I'm working with, my think tanker, he said something profound to me. He said, Prince, look, this is Liberia you got. The people in the country, they're not perfect. But one thing I'll tell you, they are sincere and they're genuine. When they see you as a good leader, you put your right foot, they will put their right foot. You put your left foot, they will put the left foot. But you start walking cricket way, they will walk cricket way. So
right.
You, the leader, you say, just like Jesus Christ. Jesus came, he had 12 disciples. Although 12 disciples, he didn't pick no perfect. All of them were not perfect. He had one that he knew that was going to betray him, but he still worked with him, and he used his example to encourage other people. He had one that even denied him, but he still used that one example to encourage other people today that no matter what, even if you fall, you made a mistake. If you can come back and walk right, that won't matter. So I think, Mr. Cummings, you're doing the right thing. Those people, the people have chose to be the leader. I don't care. They can call them a crook before. They can call them a liar before. They can call them this and that before. Once the people have chosen to be their leader, I respect that decision because I know you as a leader. I know you from your character. I know you from the exhibition of your nature and your character you have brought to the dispensation of Liberian politics. I know you that you will not be a person that will go up there and you'll change. Rather, you will be able to transform people around you and make people better. The only thing I tell you is that make sure you press them harder. so they can do the things that they can do the difficult things, they can do the tough thing, so that they can erase the notion people have about them, so they can become a service to their people, so they can reflect your character in them. But I really appreciate you for what you're doing.
Thank
I know
you.
how challenging it is. I myself facing the same challenge, but wisdom has kicked in, and knowledge is being helping me to direct me. So thank you very much, Madam President. Thank you so much for the opportunity and the privilege. Let God bless you. Let God bless your family. Let God bless our generation. Let God bless Liberia, and God will raise Liberia up again to be the nation it used to be. I said once that Liberia, it was a beacon of hope. And many African nations look up to Liberia today. They gain their independence.
Yep.
They spread the notion of the white man, that black man was not able to self-govern themselves. And they become an independent nation today. My own friend and brother looked at me and said, I was talking beautiful nonsense that Liberia was never become a hope before. But anyway, that's everybody entitled to their opinion, but everybody not entitled to their own fact. The fact that Liberia was a beacon of hope. And from that hope today, Africa is a nation that is, a continent that is today. If Liberia step up and do the right thing, true Liberia, Africa can be a united nation of Africa. And I believe that will happen in the coming future. God bless you. Thank you so much, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you, Prince. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for your words. And thank you for standing up. Thank you. And good night. Folks, I'm going to say good night. And I want to agree with Prince. That's what I said earlier. Those of you who come here around Mr. Cummings, you come here around Mr. Cummings because of his work ethics, because of his character, because of his name on the business arena in the United States. Okay. One of the greatest story ever told. Okay. A Liberian child into this country and coming here and making it in the Coca-Cola in Pillsbury. Okay. That. Where is my the YouTube? What the YouTube stuff I had? Where is it now? That's what I thought. How do I'm not signing in. I just need to okay. When I'm finished, I'll post it. Okay. Yes. How do you come around Mr. Cummings and still want to? I would think his character, his work ethics, where he stands for will rub up for you. Instead, we want to sit in the back and do all of the same thing that we do and show up in public and everybody say, let's just get along. I'm not like that. I'm not going to. But in the coming days, I'm going to continue to speak. If we are coming, if we are changed, we must be the change that we seek. And we must change our mindset. You can't say you want change, but you want to keep your old ways and do what you want to do, but then come out and preach change. That is not change. I'm on this stream. I'm not getting off. I'm just letting you know, but I will call you out. When the time comes for me to call you out, I will call you out. And I'm telling you, I'm just being honest. I'm at that point. Okay. We work our butt out to get to where we got to in the last election. We should have been 30, 70, or right there, second or third in line in the second round. That was some of us worked for. I didn't go to Liberia to take picture with Mr. Cummings. The last 2 days that day, I didn't even see Mr. Cummings. The last time I saw Mr. Cummings, I saw him in Dengamo, all the way in the Makante. The next time I saw him, before the election, I saw him in Seklepe, next to my hometown. When I had people told me, oh, Mr. Cummings will not go to your village. And I told them, I guess only the people in Monrovia will vote for Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings entered in the villages. Mr. Cummings went to my little town, where my father was born. I was, okay, cooked there. It were the people there, went all the way to Bound, all the way up to that area. He did. Just saw Mangani in New York, in the subway. I will not play tonight. I've done enough. I just came for 1 hour, my 1 hour gone, but we'll talk to you later. No, I will not be settling. Because what we practice, we make up perfect. If we start being deceptive, we'll be deceptive to the people. If we who working together, we're not honest with each other, how can we be honest with other people who are not working with us? How? I can't go to war with people I don't trust. And I don't trust me either. Because if all are lying to each other, this is war. This is a revolution. We must change Liberia. These people are entrenched. They kept our people for years, decades, almost 200 years. You need to break that. Even the war didn't break it. We have to. We have to be different. We got to be different. We must be different. We can put up a leadership face when we walk out. But behind closed doors, we must be honest with each other. We must do what is right. We must understand and build character. And I would think that's why we are around Mr. Cummings. Because he sets an example that others want to imitate. Now some of us want our little boys to be like, or our daughters, even better. I would think that's the essence. Not to get to the kick and start digging in before everybody else. No. If that's the goal, I'm not a part. You'll have a good evening. Good night, everyone.